Friday Night Smackdown, and we are in Lexington, Kentucky at the Rupp Arena. We get a Money in the Bank recap, and of course we're showing fan reactions from the fake internet that doesn't exist. But then the show opens with John Cena. They're kind of trying to cover the plot holes with the whole him selling his soul and how The Rock has like nothing to do with it anymore. But yeah, basically the running theme of this segment is John Cena has a master plan and he just finessed everything. But then Cody comes out and he wants to talk about his own plan after pinning him at Money in the Bank. But then Orton comes out and then he wants to claim his right to a rematch. So everybody was just coming out. Because next you had LA Knight come out, which that one confused me. So he comes out and he's talking about how he has a shot at all three of them, whether he has to take down a Viper, a Nightmare, or a balding bitch John Cena, he said. That's what he's gonna do. And upon hearing this, Cena just like drops his mic and he's just leaving fully up the ramp. Everyone's of course booing and shit. But then he gets attacked from behind at the top of the ramp by Ron Killings. And security has to come out and like pull him off. Because we got some serious Ron right now, it seems like. That's how that segment ends. Then we get into our first match, which is the first fatal four-way of the night. Carmelo versus LA Knight versus Orton versus Aleister Black. So Carmelo was the MVP of this match, if we're being real. He carried. Everybody else had a few good spots, but the main foundation of this match was Carmelo. So at one point late in the match, Orton went for a double draping DDT really on Aleister and Carmelo. But then LA Knight came from behind and did a neck breaker to Orton. So it was like everybody just got taken out basically, except for LA Knight, I guess. So that was a pretty cool spot. The crowd starts chanting, "This is awesome." Then we get our mid-match cutscene. Bronson and Braun show up and they target LA Knight. LA Knight was on the turnbuckle going for his leaping elbow. Bronson pulls him off the top and then Braun spears him in the middle of the ring. And then this ending was actually pretty cool. So Carmelo goes to the top to capitalize with a frog splash. But in midair, Randy hits him with an RKO, and Carmelo still lands on LA Knight. So basically, Randy takes out Carmelo and just pins LA Knight for the win. Now, this was kind of weird. So before the match, like based on the segment that we just had before this, I knew the only two possible options for winners here were LA Knight or Randy Orton. I thought it might have been possible that it would be LA Knight based on how much shit he was talking before. Although Orton did get in Cody's face saying that he'll take his ass out if he has to on his way to getting his John Cena rematch. So not surprised Orton won, but I thought maybe they might have threw LA Knight a bone, but I guess not. So Randy Orton wins, so that means his next match in his side of the bracket shit, is him versus Sami Zayn. But next we get Jacob Fatu on his way to the ring to explain his actions for Money in the Bank. So he gets in the ring, he's got a mic, and he's a babyface now, so of course he's got to say the name of the city. Lexington. So basically he's talking about how Solo's acting like he gave him everything, but he didn't stay out the way, blah, blah, blah. America's Most Wanted, hell, yada I mean, shit like that. Then Solo appears up on the Titantron, and he's in whatever that dark room is that he's in. And then you have only JC Mateo in the background standing off to the side. So Solo addresses Jacob, and his whole angle is basically he's willing to forgive Jacob if Jacob says, "I love you, Solo." So I guess next time they meet in person, that's what he wants from him. Weird cliffhanger, because you know where this is not going. But anyways. And next we get the Secret Service in Nick Aldis's office. So Chelsea wasn't here tonight. It looks like she was on vacation somewhere. She was in a pool. That's all I saw. She was FaceTiming Nick through the Secret Service's phone. So basically she tries to get out of her fatal four-way match. Nick's not having it. So Nick Aldis says Alba Fire is going to replace her instead. And they're in shock at this conclusion. Nick Aldis tells her to go get ready. So they leave in disgust without the phone. And Nick's still holding the phone like FaceTiming Chelsea. Then Zelina Vega walks in. She's trying to talk to Nick, asking for Julia, but then she notices on the phone that Chelsea's still there talking on FaceTime. She takes the phone from him, puts it down on the table. It doesn't hang up or nothing. So Zelina's explaining her case to Nick Aldis. So it looks like we're going to get Zelina versus Julia soon. But all this time while Zelina's talking to Nick, you can still hear Chelsea Green in the background. But yeah, Zelina versus Julia soon, I guess. Not going to lie. I definitely like Julia more because I know her from before WWE, but it is kind of too early to put the belt on her. It's just a bad build in my opinion. Triple H on a roof trying to justify two-peating Mania in Vegas. But then we move on to our next King of the Ring match. So it's Nia Jax versus Jade versus Mia Yim versus Piper, which confused me at first because Nick told Alba to go get ready, but I forgot that they were both in the tournament, I guess. So highlights of this match. Mia Yim hit an Acai moonsault, which is pretty cool. Piper started stripping and lassoing her blazer during the commercial break and got a bigger reaction than the Acai moonsault. Then Nia tries to one-up her by doing the stink face on Mia, and that gets a little bit of a reaction too, which is crazy because this crowd was really silent during most of these matches. So yeah, Mia was getting her face buried in Nia cheeks, and then Piper runs over and does a running hip attack, and then walks over to Nia, bends over, and gets Nia to dust off her cheek. This match was getting really weird. I was actually scared where this was going. Nia threw Jade over the announce table, taking out Wade Barrett, and then it flips him the double bird, and Netflix wanted to black out the screen and shit. Piper speared Nia through the barricade, and then Jade hit Piper with the Jaded for the 1-2-3. Stuff happened between that. I'm just giving you the highlight spots. So Jade wins and progresses to the next round. Next we get Naomi, Money in the Bank winner. She about to cut her promo. So she talking her shit, and it looks like she's going for Tiffany Stratton's belt. Tiffany comes out and joins her in the ring and basically calls her out to be a coward. She's trying to bait her into cashing in right here, right now, while the two of them are just standing there and nothing else is going on. And basically Naomi just essentially just said no, but with like 20 words. So she gets out the ring, she leaves, but then Nia shows up and attacks Tiffany, hits her with the Annihilator. So then Naomi turns back, and it's already our first cash-in tease. I don't know how long this is gonna last, but all I'm saying is the cash-in better be successful. Do you know how mad people will be if Naomi is the first one to fail a women's cash-in? Triple H ain't ever beating any allegations if that happens. People are already out here calling him Triple K. I don't know, that's not gonna help his case if this happens. So yeah, you get the cash-in tease, and the only reason why it was a tease and nothing further is because Nia Jax basically cock-blocked her. Next, we had the Motor City Machine Guns versus the Wyatts. Raise your fists. Raise your fists. I'm telling somebody backstage in production is so offbeat with timing the pyro. I'm pretty sure the first week on their debut they got it right, but ever since then, that pyro been offbeat. So then the Wyatts come out, and honestly, the whole theatrics of the Wyatts right now, it feels so extra. Their steam has cooled off so hard, like, because first when they showed up, powerful hype-ass debut. And then we had all the theories attached to it. Look at the kind of people that they're targeting. It was interesting. It was suspenseful. Then they disappeared for a long time after losing to who it was, a Carrion, which I'm not even mad that they lost that. But the creative afterwards, in combination with the hiatus, didn't help anything. So they went from interesting motive to we're just a basic tag team now. So it's Gacy and Loomis versus the Motor City Machine Guns. And again, the crowd does not care for any of this. And the only reason why I mention this is because I'm just giving you the environment. I'm not saying it as to say that they're correct to not care. I'm not one of those people, because my own opinion does not come from what the crowd thinks, like how a lot of people's opinions come from what I'm seeing around here. Anyways, so it seemed like the crowd wanted the Motor City Machine Guns to win, or were slightly more on their side when it comes to the in-ring at least. And this is how quiet the crowd was. At one point, it sounded like they were trying to start a Roman Reigns sing chant. Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns. That shit. It sounded like they were trying to do that, but I'm not even sure if I'm correct, because that's how quiet it was. Like, it just failed. It didn't get started properly. I've been in libraries that are louder than this. It felt like. At the end of this match was a mess. I don't know what was going on here. It looked like Loomis might have gone for the wrong finish or something, because I think him and Gacy did it was like a high-low super kick, top lock to the knee or whatever combination. Then he got up and hesitated, but then went for the pin. And then the ref ran around, but then didn't ever start the pin. And there was no kick out, but then the pin stopped. But then the camera went ringside to Uncle Howdy because they were watching from the ramp or whatever. And then all I hear is, do I do it now? And then Loomis goes up to the top turnbuckle and hits a regular ass leg drop. And then that's your match ending. Chris Sabin took the pin. The Wyatt fall off is crazy. I'm telling you, Triple H and creative are terrible at continuing momentum off of an extremely hype moment. You'll get the one moment, and then immediately after, the pacing is so trash. Wyatt 6, New Day, John Cena's heel turn. You can try and blame The Rock all you want. This story could still be, or still could have been saved, and been much better than what we've been getting as Plan B. So don't even give me that. You guys wanted to be The Rock so bad to blame. But anyways, we got John and Jimmy backstage. John's asking for R-Truth and Ron Killings, because I guess he thinks Jimmy's lying when he asked if he's seen R-Truth. Which, by the way, they're still calling him R-Truth. Like commentary and even on screen and graphics sometimes. So I don't know which one they're going with or what's going on with that. Because I thought they were making a point to start calling him Ron Killings again. But I don't know. It seems like they're flip-flopping. So John Cena comes out for the second time tonight, and he storms to the ring. And this is probably the loudest the crowd has been all night. At this point, you got the John Cena sucks singing chant, and we got We Want Truth. John Cena gets in the ring and immediately calls out truth, but then CM Punk shows up. CM Punk gets in the ring. He's a babyface too, so of course, again, you got to say the name of the city, Lexington. Is it great to be in he called Lexington a legendary wrestling city? I wouldn't have known this if he didn't say that. Or town, sorry. He said town. Basically, CM Punk says if Cena wants to ruin wrestling, then he's going to take it upon himself to save it. And then he basically calls out Cena for copying 2011 CM Punk and trying to leave with the belts. And then mid-promo, I guess we find out that CM Punk's Mount Rushmore is apparently Terry Funk, Harley Race, Bret Hart, and Eddie Guerrero. He speaks some more about Black Heroes Speak. At one point, it looked like he forgot what he wanted to say for the bulk of his material. Basically, his bottom line was, "You can't see me? I see right through you." And that's the truth. And then Ron comes out and attacks Cena again and puts him in the STFU. And then security come and break it up again. Next, we got another Queen of the Ring Fatal 4-Way. Charlotte versus Alexa versus Candice LeRae versus Alba Fire. And it's at this point that they notify us with a quick backstage segment that Ron versus John is happening next week. But yeah, then we get back to what might have been the worst Fatal 4-Way of all time. I'm not even gonna lie. Dog, like if this match was 10 minutes, for example, it felt like everything happened in a 1-minute window. 2/3 of the way through. Everything outside of that, from the beginning all the way up into that point and after, it was like nothing was happening. And commentary was not helping either. The crowd was already silent. So there's that. And then during a point in the match, I shit you not, the commentary, they said nothing for like what felt like 15 seconds straight. I did not hear nothing from commentary. It was just dead silence. The crowd was dead silent. And then I'm looking in the ring and the offense is just the most lackluster. There's nothing happening. And even if there's nothing happening, at least commentary should have something to be talking about at least. The other women's Fatal 4-Way was easily better than this. The match ended. It was basically a finish race between Alexa and Charlotte Flair. So Alexa hit her sister Abigail on Candice LeRae and went for the pin, but at the same time, Charlotte had Alba Fire in a figure 8. So it was just a matter of, is Alba going to tap before the pin count or not? But Alexa ended up winning that exchange, so she wins and advances to the next round. God, that match. There's even points where... I've never seen this. So, you know, when you're watching a match, two people are in the ring that are like, they're whatever. They're not super huge stars. They're usually mid-card when this is happening. They get no reaction during the match. And then the babyface, it's usually the babyface, will do a move and try and hype up the crowd. And then the crowd will respond and do something. Or in the heel version of this, beat on the babyface and then taunt the crowd, and then they'll get a response that way. Well, there were multiple attempts where like Alba tried once and got zero response. And then I think Candice LeRae tried to get some like heel heat or whatever, and just nobody cared or responded. I was like, oh, this is rough. You may as well put the golf course in the library, because that's what it feels like I'm watching here with how silent this crowd is. Down to the freaking commentary cadence and everything with Joe Tessitore. Put me to sleep with that commentary. Next, we had the main event, the last King of the Ring Fatal 4-Way of the night. Cody Rhodes. Oh, wait, hold on. Cody and CM Punk cross paths backstage first on Cody's way to the ring for his match. Basically, CM Punk acknowledging that at some point they're probably going to run across each other, so they can't run from each other forever. Then they both acknowledge it. Blah, blah, blah. I respect you. That type of shit. Then Cody goes to the ring. Boom, boom. Wrestling has more than 6 cases of pyro for my entrance. Da-na-na-na-na. Dude, I'm not gonna get into it. Well, so it's Cody versus Shinsuke versus. Let me ask you this: who'd win in a fight, Pinsuke or Finn Balor? Because we talk about how WWE predictable. If that match happened, I don't know who's winning. They'll probably find a way to both lose to the referee or something. Anyways, it's Cody versus Shinsuke versus Andrade versus Damian Priest. Andrade is the cleanest in the ring of those 4, easily. Cody pulls out a Slim Jim table. I skipped a lot there, but Cody and Damian, they go to double team suplex Andrade from the apron through the table, but then Shinsuke comes in and saves Andrade for some reason, and then basically just Sparta kicks Cody through the table. Cody sleeps and sets his alarm for like 5 minutes, then comes back with that hero's comeback cutscene offense until eventually getting cut off his momentum. Blah, blah, blah. Double Cody cutter to Nakamura and Andrade into a super Cody cutter right after to Damian Priest off the turnbuckle. Crossroads to Andrade, picks him up to go for a second one. Then Shinsuke, this guy must love Andrade because he goes to save him again. He comes up behind Cody. He has Cody in like a sleeper hold and then transfers into the Crossroads position. So he's about to do Cody's finisher, but you know that's not going to happen. So what happens instead? Cody reverses it and hits a Crossroads on him instead, because of course Pinsuke has to take the pin. Cody advances to fight the winner of Sheamus, Rusev, Bronson Reed, and the mystery contestant, which has now been revealed to be Jey Uso. So, we already know that's either going to be Jey Uso or Bronson Reed, because those are the 2 strongest story narratives at the moment. Because you either go for can the former tag team partners, even though short-lived, coexist? Or you go with the whole Bronson wins because of Seth's fake bloodline. So I guess we'll see what's happening there, because if Jay does not win, then that's going to be like another 15-minute rant from Rikishi, talking about how his family's disrespected. I was hoping the mystery contestant was going to be something a little bit more exciting than that, but anyways, that was Friday Night Smackdown. That was my review, my thoughts, Tyzik Thunder, and I'm out.